Hey everybody, before we get started, I just want to remind you this episode is brought to you by patrons like Ahanga Comics, Qua, Jeremy Vasquez, Kylie Denton, Nestor Flores, Sodasan 0424, and VideoGamer75. If you like what we do and want to see us do more, consider supporting us on Patreon. You can get access to episodes early and lots of other goodies, and it'll really help us out. Thanks for your support, everybody.
Thank you. That one sounded weak.
That one did seem a little lax and brassy. Anyway, hello students. Welcome to class today. Let's talk FGO. I am your professor. I am Omega from the Department of Bibliomancy. And with me, as always, is guest Professor Lucky from the Department of Waifuology. That's right, I brought that one back.
You did. Everyone, I hope you are enjoying Fate Grand Order, aka Summer Ain't Over Yet. And while we here at Studio Omega like to bring you the latest in FGO news and memes, we will be talking about current and future events about the JP and EN version of the game. So anyone not wanting spoilers should remember to wear sunscreen.
It won't protect you from the spoilers, but it's a good idea in general.
Yeah, it is.
Alright, so we have what will probably be a meaty show for you today. Because while there's not a lot of news and it's almost all JP focused, I wrote 2 big long sections today. And I did all that work because it's my own fault. Because basically I forgot to check the poll results. I've been playing Breath of the Wild all week, so, you know, it's understandable, guys. But I didn't realize we had a tie, which means I had to go to Lucky as our official tiebreaker. So, I didn't know whether or not Lucky would get it back to me in time. No fault on Lucky, it's my own fault for not double-checking it. But he did, fortunately enough. So I was able to write the notes for Teacher Omega Sensei. But also, before that happened, I wrote the Summer 2 pregame notes. And I'm not sure whether or not we'll do them this show. We'll have to see the flow and stuff. That reminds me, I need to get my sound cue out, because the next step, since I don't think we really have any other businessy type stuff, is to check in with everybody's favorite Kohai.
Senpai, 起きてください.
That's right, everybody. It's time for Wake the Fuck Up Senpai, our regular segment for pro tips. Yeah, I can say that we're like 2 minutes in. So here's another one from the community. Thank you so much, comments, for your suggestions. They keep us alive. So this is something you should know now that we have exchange tickets. In case you haven't noticed, exchange tickets are assigned for the month. So, for instance, the ones out now say that they're for, I don't know if they say July 2019, but they say they're for July. They're assigned to a month, and you can hold on to them for a while, for like 100 days. So, don't know what you want? Save up your tickets until the end of the month and exchange them all at once when you need them. Just a little something you can do. New strats. I'm still exchanging for chains. Because I used quite a few. I think I had like 120, and now, thanks to nearly 20 days of chains, I have like still 90. But anyway, yeah, I guess we'll check in with records from the Throne real quick. Just move on through the stuff and get into the real meat of the show. For me, thanks to XPs, I have protected the smiles of First Hassan and Siegfried, so that's where all my chains went. Yeah, so that was a pretty quick turnaround for me. God bless you, half AP, a triple suck chance, and also event EXPs.
Good time. On my end, not as illustrious. I kind of lost steam there, but I was able to get Caster Marie's Smile Protect. Unfortunately, I did not get Summer Artoria or the Punch Saint done in time, so rip Lucky.
Well, you still got some stuff to work on, because those will be relevant later. Maybe we'll talk about that.
Yeah, maybe.
So I figure I'll just blow through all the news. Well, I don't know. Depending on how we do it, I might be talking a lot, but we're going to talk about our thoughts on the summer rerun, too. So, I don't know. Lucky, do you want to blow through the news real quick?
Alright, yeah, real quick. So, as I said, this is all basically based in Japan. Because, as I said, we are literally mid-event right now.
Yeah, we haven't even started the part 2 yet.
Yeah. So, JP, 1.5 million follower celebration. Boom, 10-cent coins. Everyone enjoy that. And as of a couple days ago, over in JP, the Summer Servant Festival rerun running from July 17th to August 2nd. It's basically all the usual event rerun stuff, different shop rewards. It's a return of the Summer 1 and 2 banners, so you got your Assassin Ushi, your Lancer Ibaraki, Rider Sean, and your SSR BB.
No, not yet.
Not yet.
No, that's the second part of the banner, which hasn't actually started. That's technically Banner 3. Banner 2 is Robin, Caskill, and Dantes.
Oh, that's right. And word's been on the street that people are really throwing down for that Dantes. Is it because he's a good edgelord, or is it just because everyone got Scotty and they want to be part of that quick meta? Who knows? As usual with the with reruns, there's a new challenge quest where you can get a lore. So once again, usual fare for reruns. Also, interesting rare prism shop update. For 5 rare prisms, if you clear London, you can buy Prison Tower event, including the challenge quest. No time limit to buy, and doesn't seem to be a time limit to play. We're not sure if you can actually get new rewards or not out of it. Well, we're gonna need some deets.
Yeah, so this is something I just noticed, but apparently, yes, in the Rare Prism shop, you can spend 5 Rare Prisms and just buy the Prison Tower event, including the challenge quest from the rerun. I don't know if you've done them already, if you still get, like, the tickets and stuff, or what, or if that only applies to people who didn't get a chance to do it, so I could use some more information from those of us who play JP and understand things, but, yeah, that's super interesting, buying old events in the Rare Prism shop. We'll have to see if maybe I'm gonna predict now, gonna activate my my mind antenna and say that maybe we'll see a Rare Prism shop for the very first Halloween event this Halloween, maybe?
We'll see.
We'll see what they do.
So also in JP, we have FGO Memories 2, which is the CE art book to be released August 23rd. That's my birthday.
Neato.
And you didn't actually mention this, but I think I will. Over on Types Moon's Twitter, they've actually made an announcement for 2 new books that are be coming out. It's going to be the Fate Extra CCC Void Law Bloom Echo 4. And here's what some people might be really excited about. Fate Grand Order Material 6.
Oh, I hadn't heard about Material 6. That's cool.
Yeah,
probably selling that at
the release date for that is August 12th. Here, I'll post the Twitter here. And
Neato burrito. I love my materials and their translations.
Yep. So that goes hopefully we can get. So hopefully we'll get someone who's good at translating, and they'll let us know all the interesting deets about the servants. Let's see here. Well, I guess, like, we really don't talk too much about FGO Arcade on here, but I guess it should be noted that recently with FGO Arcade, they've been releasing, they've released a Summer Servant 2, and they just released Lancer Raiko, and it's pretty memey. I'm not gonna lie. She's been getting a lot of attention on the Twitters.
That's because in my room in FGO Arcade, you can do a full 3D walk-around of the model.
Yep.
Which, of course, is... The models are pretty true to the original art style.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that's neato. But, yeah, we don't really talk about Arcade much because, one, it's kind of... It seems like it's kind of haphazardly updated. Like, for instance, this is definitely not their quote-unquote second summer event, but they've already got one of the Summer 2 servants in there. And also, obviously, it's not available at all in our language.
Yeah.
It's not even available to people who speak Japanese. It's available to people who can specifically go to the arcade setups. And I don't even know how widespread the arcade is. But anyway.
I don't know.
That's
like, I have a couple big arcades here, and they do, like, they like to, profess that they have, like, a big foreign game selection, so I want to try and get out there and be like, you got that FGO Arcade?
I wonder if you could... I mean, it would still be in Japanese, but I wonder if you could import just import the fucking machines. Like, not localized, but get the support. I don't know. That seems like an arcade-type thing to do and be like, yo, dude, we got some Japanese machines in the back. They're crazy. Crazy.
What is this, like some back alley arcade shit here? That's great. I fucking love it.
Yes, Vesper. Currently, you can only... Well, I don't know. The time window may have passed, but originally you could only get Da Vinci Small in arcade. She was released to arcade first in a tie-in to a festival or some dumb thing.
That reminds me, there was a post going around on Reddit that, the Grand Order bot caught, where just post all I can't say, well, posted a bunch of servants or characters that have appeared, but, don't have actual spirit origins or servants. And it's just like, oh, which one do you think is going to appear next? And my first thought was, excuse me, this list is woefully incomplete. Because it didn't have Tiamat or Writer Da Vinci or Altera Larva, Archimedes, Corona. There's a bunch of characters.
Try and scroll back and find that, but new Twitter is a learning experience. I have absolutely no idea how to look at who I'm following off the top of my head.
I usually just type it in. And yes, Despair, do confirm. Lucky craves the Bid Dragon Mama.
Who doesn't? That's another really early Let's Talk FGO meme, the Dragon Mom effect. Which, by the way, is a scientifically proven fact. There is a mathematical model. The more mom and the more dragon, the more the amount of want.
It is proven by science.
I have a really shitty graph I made, which is on a shirt you can buy.
Oh,
because remember, we have merch.
My list of merch. Gotta work on our merch. Nope.
Wow, there's a lot of
whatever
scrolling on the Grand Order bot. Grand Order bot does a lot of curating from Reddit. Let me see if I can see it. Anyway, so yeah, I don't think we've pegged exactly when JP's likely to start their shenanigans. Like, usually they do it on, like, the last Friday of the month, but that might be a little early, so I think because the summer rerun ends on the 2nd, it's actually going to be the 2nd is when they do big deal stuff.
Well, if I remember correctly, I was actually looking this up. I believe their stream is... It's either... I think it's, the 2nd. I think.
Yeah, I think that's
the 3rd.
That's the actual, like, physical festival date, too.
Yeah, I think it's the 3rd. Their actual stream with with Mafia and everyone's on the 3rd. It's gonna be like 1:40 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, because it's supposed to start off at like 5:40 p.m.
Okay. Once again, I can't. I don't think I can stay up. That'll be like 4 for me. God damn it!
Yeah, it's scheduled. It's scheduled for an hour. I do remember that.
Yeah, you'll be able to catch it, but I don't think I'll be able to. That'll be too late for me.
I will do what I did last time, and I will just stay up, give you a whole bunch of screens, and try to find any CNs. Because the FGO Fest is taking place on the 3rd and 4th, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, which also I believe is after their physical date of their anniversary.
Actually, hang on, let me...
somebody reported that, but I believe the actual FGO servers turned on in July.
Let's see. Stage schedule. Yeah, August 4th, which is day 2. Wait, is it Friday, Saturday, or Saturday, Sunday? Hang on. It's Saturday, Sunday.
The 3 to 4 is, that's that Sun. Usually they kick off whatever their celebration is on a Friday.
Yeah, so so on Sunday, the 4th, excuse me, my memory is horrible with numbers. Their FGO Chaldean Broadcaster 4th Anniversary Special is running from 5:40 to 6:40 Japan Standard Times. To translate that to Pacific Standard Time, which is what I operate on, sorry everyone who's not, that's about like 1:40 a.m. to 2. But the MC is gonna be, as always, Mafia Kajita, and then it's actually a big lineup of people. The guests are Akabane Kenji, Okubo Rumi, Kawasumi Ayako, Shimazaki Nobunaga, Tanaka Minami, Tsuruoka Satoshi, Hayami Sori, and Yuki Aoi.
Nice.
It's a big lineup. Like, Because if you go on the fandom wiki right now, they have it translated for everything that's going to be going on. Like, they have Chaldea Radio, they're going to have a panel about the Heaven's Feel movie.
Also, yeah, as far as I can tell, the first event ever was, like, mid-August, so I assume FGO did their actual, like... Well, actually, let me check. What's 2016 August? So is the anniversary in July? Yeah, the first anniversary in JP took place on the 30th of July, so I assume that their actual startup date is sometime in July. And, hey, funny, they waited until they had a good weekend with lots of things going on before they did a big show, and there's no fucking riots in the streets? Huh, who could have guessed? Sorry, I'm not salty or anything about how, well, no, fuck it. I don't care about these people as an audience. Hopefully we've kicked you all the way before. People who are extra salty for no good reason about the timing of anniversary events. Gee, guess what? It's not like a fucking they hate NA thing. They just time events to things that make sense. Funny how that works. But yeah, so, they will probably maybe do like what we did this year and be like, oh, hey, here's the actual date the server turns around. Here's a little something.
Probably, I don't know.
But I don't fucking know. They might just wait until, like I said, they usually do the kickoff in, like, what would be the last weekend of July, but obviously because of the way calendars work, in case you didn't know, the dates kind of rotate around, so I guess that's too early. But yeah, okay. So, yeah, and we're super psyched for Summer 4 and Anniversary stuff, because that's always really cool. And how much we're going to want to die when they do CEs.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't think it ever... Well, I guess, so theoretically being able to pick 2 is better than it being able to pick 1, but still, that's not really better.
How many costumes have they come? Well, I shouldn't say call them costumes, but...
Like, the different looks, I don't know, there's a whole bunch. We'd have to, like, sit down for a minute and count, so we won't...
I'm pretty sure there's more than 8. Like 8 to 10, 12. It's a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot.
I want them to do, like, quests. You have to do, like, a quest. All of them.
Yeah, anyway.
I cry.
So let's move into free talk, which we've been kind of doing a little, because this wasn't necessarily news, but let's talk about summer rerun stuff. So, how you doing on the summer rerun?
Ah, man. So, the rerun is, like, again, like, unfortunately, it's one of those things, like, you know, you've done one rerun, you've kind of done them all. It's like, I'm just revisiting mechanics and stuff. I will say, like, I do appreciate that they changed the support, so now that all servants are a support. Now it's kind of hard for me to remember everyone and what they can do. Like, this is one of those, like, this event is one of those that are like, alright, archers give me what? Lancers give me what? What is this?
Well, yeah, that said, luckily it's better than how it was last year, because last year was literally everybody gave you a bonus, but they were all different.
Yeah.
So, like, you'd be like, okay, so some Lancers give me wood, but some Lancers give me food? Why the fuck would I want to... You mean literally the only caster who boosts... What was it? It was water or steel or something where you wanted a caster. It was like literally the only caster who gave that bonus was Hans, and I was like, Hans, dude, I love you, but you're not really cut out for like high level rapid speed farming quests. So yeah, but still, I also have frequently looked at the currently pinned post in our Discord, which is telling us what servants drop what.
And again, like, revisiting this, like, the summer rerun, like, I do have to say, like, I still enjoy the quote-unquote story aspect from, you know, Blackbeard's appearance. We have the return of Brokero, my Kokoro, immediate top kick for me. But, like, again, you know, you kind of see those glaring where it's like, you got your back spear boys and fucking, I'm blanking on his name. Savior of France.
Sasuke Kojiro.
Thank you, Kojiro. Like, chilling in the background, doing stuff while you're having, as Blackbeard likes to put it, huggy, kissy, squeezy time with all the female servants. Like, I can completely understand why Blackbeard's Ghost had a grudge. It's like, It's like, there's a lot of skin, and there's a lot of skinship going on around here. Should I be complaining? Well, again, like, this always makes me wondering, like, are we finally gonna get actual male summer servants, this year? It's always been a point of contention, for FGO, especially when you put it up against the other big gacha games. There are definitely some people in the community who are quite vocal at their displeasure of the lack of abs in swimsuits. But no, that's neither here nor there. We got Summer 4 coming up, so we can wait and hope, as the good count says. But let's see. Other than that, like, unfortunately, my grind has been painstakingly slow. Like, I completed my island. And that's what I wanted to do. I just wanted to make, alright, I want this island to look nice.
I was once again upset by the fact that our community on Discord was like 2 days in. I'm like, I'm done with story. I'm like, fuck you. First of all, why? But also, most importantly, fuck you. Now I have to do it.
No,
so I powered through really fast.
Yeah, so I really haven't got into the grinding aspect of it, which I do plan to do. It's just at the same time, I am playing a lot of other gacha games.
So I've been doing, basically, in the past week, I've been doing one of three things, which is either I've been playing Breath of the Wild, I've been writing my L5R campaign, or I've been dead. In interim amounts. I've mostly logged into FGO just to get logins and to do the daily little shipwreck quest, because that gives you a shitload of currency for, like, no AP.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, that's pretty much doing it for me for purchases, because, as is our usual kind of outline, like, if I have, like, 75 of a mat, I'm not like, oh, I need to bust my ass to get more of these. Like, once I got the EXPs, I got some of the foes out, you know, I don't need the Ascension materials, I don't really need a second copy of a Summertime Mistress, especially considering it won't help, I don't think it'll help me in the rerun of Part 2. So it's like, I'm fine just cruising and getting the mats I'm, like, really low on. Like, yeah, I could use the 20 extra feathers. Or, you know, night metals are kind of a pain in the ass to get, so I'll buy up some of those just because I have the currency and nothing else to get it with.
Let's see. Water. Like, I'm mentioning it, so I'm like, I should probably actually start grinding at least the minimum of what I need.
Yeah, figure out what you want, because remember, we also have Part 2, which will have its own completely different shop open up too, and I don't know what's in it.
Yeah.
Other than spare copies of Skahak I don't need. No offense to her, but Summer Skahak is already level 80, full, you know, max Ascension, max NP, so I'm like, no, I did my due diligence last year, guys.
Yeah. See, this is the problem I had back with Onigaishima, is that when I went through the points ladder, I still got Rider Kentoki's Ascension items. I'm like, what am I gonna do with these? We're just gonna sit in my inventory, dude. There's spare shit is kind of weird. I really wish maybe they should do that later, a universal cash-in for, like, QP, and you're like, oh, you have extra Ascension items from reruns? Here, turn these into Da Vinci and get, like, oodles of QP back. Because that's something they usually do, is they usually let you exchange extra items for QP. I don't know, let's see, what are we at? We're at about 25 minutes, so I don't know if we'll do I'll leave it up to Lucky whether or not he wants us to do the Summer 2 pregame after this, or not. But we might talk about that a little bit if we do that, or if not, it'll be next week. But most times you can exchange for QP, you know, and it's not an insignificant number. That'd be really great if you could get rid of spare Ascension items. And also why Ascension items in stores are good, because, hey, if it's a rerun, you don't have to buy them. Yep.
Same with extra copies and stuff. I think
I'm not worrying about, like,
summer.
Yeah, like I said, like, I'm not gonna be like, honestly, I don't even know how much work I'm gonna be putting into Part 2. I really don't. Like, I always enjoyed Part 1 because, you know, it had story and jokes and stuff, but in Part 2,
everybody, we talked about this a lot, I think, last year, that Part 2 of Summer 1 was kind of phoned in.
Yeah, so, like, you know, the fucking piglets making the joke are kind of great, but, like, I don't know, just the overall feel, it's like, yeah. I don't know, can't get behind it. And as I said, we got Summer 2, like, right around the corner, and, you know, and, I said, that is, some good shit. Some people have already let me, clued me into the music, and it is, as the kids say, fire, dope AF. Like, did you listen to Venus Racer, Omega?
I don't think I listened to anything now. I've been busy. I'll let it hit me when it comes. That's always...
Yeah.
I think we talked about this last week on either this show or on WhatsApp, because I was talking about how rad Case Files is, and just how good the music is, and just Fate as a franchise has really good music. Like, it had lots of really good original composition, and then almost always new entrants add really good new music.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah. Again, I don't know what's happening in Dead Heat Rays. I know we're racing on Venus because Ishtar, ? But that's about it.
Yeah.
So, that's how it's like, I'm excited. But again, we're probably, with 9 days, we're probably not going to be starting...
Well, let's see, because that really depends on the overlap. So, the event ends the 28th. That would mean they'd start on a Monday, which they've done before, so it's possible that on the 26th we'd have a free day to do it, and we wouldn't be late and miss out on those 6, those sick algorithms and stuff. I know.
Let's see, Vesper saying it'd be safe to do it this week, since there's always a chance Summer 2 can overlap, since it was a super popular event.
Yeah, I don't know.
But,
that's the thing, right? Like, they could...
And so, Toru shrugged. That's the emote he used.
There are, like, 9... There's, like, 9 days left, like we said, but at the same time, also important, nobody's gonna give a fuck about the last couple days of Summer Part 2 and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Well, we have one more thing to talk about before we have to make the fatal decision, and we're under 30 minutes still, so... The second thing is follow-up to last week. Now Lucky has actually watched Case Files.
Yes, I have. I am now caught up, officially.
So yeah, I think... So we recorded the last one on Friday, so I think I mentioned it briefly on WhatsApp, but you hadn't watched it yet for episode 2.
Yeah, because it airs Saturday.
Yeah.
Saturday morning.
So episode 2 came out. It was really good.
Yep.
I think I talked about this on WhatsApp, but I didn't realize how much I'd love that story, but I do. Dear Fate, please localize the light novels and send them to me. Just me. I don't care about other people. But when I knew that I would really love this series, when Waver and Gray literally name dropped How Done It and Why Done It as kind of like the extrapolation of the classic Who Done It formula, because they're literally solving crimes. They're literally solving crimes, guys. It's amazing.
Yeah, and from what I understand, this Case Files isn't a direct adaptation. It seems like there might be, like, specifically, doing a, specific arcs, and maybe original content.
So from what I understand is the first few episodes are original content to basically, because they're not, the arcs they're covering, Rail Zeppelin is, like, 2 volumes of light novels in the middle. They don't have the opportunity to establish all the other pre-story stuff, so basically we're getting a few episodes to establish the characters in the universe and stuff, and then we're going to go through the whole thing. And I think it's going to be 2 cores, because 13 episodes isn't enough time to do 2 light novel volumes worth of story, so I think everybody's kind of hoping.
Everyone's kind of hoping.
I think this one will involve Ogamary? I'm not sure. There are a lot of cameos with people in Case Files. That's kind of its thing, is that, like...
Well, to be fair, Waver makes a lot of cameos in other Fate works.
Fair. It's true, but, like, this is the excuse to have all these Mage characters actually come hang out with Waver and do Mage stuff. Which we are 100% talking about later, but yeah. And also, honestly, we got a little bit of a preview, because this first like, plot episode was about a family in the astronomy department, which is actually controlled by the Animesphere family, which was cool that they covered that.
I learned. Like, I couldn't remember. Like, I had to mention it. Like, did they actually mention that in an FGO at some point, or was it just like a one-line detail?
And I was like, I think they said it like once, probably in the first part, where it was like, yes, that's Ogamary Animesphere, and her blah blah blah. Her dad was from the astronomy department. Blah blah blah.
And see, here's the thing that always bugs me about like the Natsu-verse in general. Is the Mages Association, Clock Tower, is a big, huge fucking deal. And there are very few actual, like direct references to it. It's always like this ambiguous background
Yeah,
threats.
actually, we'll touch on that a little bit later, but I think it's been deliberately assembled so that the Mages Association isn't a big deal in Japan, for instance, which is probably why all those characters can run off there and do magic shit without the clock tower, dropping a bomb on them. But at the same time, it's like, God, these guys are really in the backdrop a lot. That's another thing that I know Case Files is famous for, is like, there's a famous graphic that when we go into that section, I'm actually going to split the audio so I can switch what graphic we use to show this off. Like, there's a fuck ton of characters.
That's also in novels like Tsukihime and Karo no Kyokai. It's like there's always references to it, but fair point. This is always in Japan, but it's like, oh yeah, clock tower, Mages Associations, beware of them. And then you're just gonna be like, nah, I'm gonna just do all this crazy magic shit, and they're not gonna really care.
They're too slow on the uptake.
Yeah. But also, it has to be a determination of scale, because if I remember correctly, like, I can only remember this from the Unlimited Blade Works epilogue. Basically, Clock Tower, the Mages Association, basically took the Fuyuki Holy Grail War as a minor ritual in the East, so who knows? These guys might be big dick swinging. I really don't know.
Yeah, well, it's because the Grail War never did anything, so they were like, that's a nothing thing that happened somewhere in the Far East that we don't care about. Yeah. Like, as you can even see from some of the El-Melloi case files, there's like, a lot of people are like, talking away for like, well, hey, big shot, did you do anything fun on your summer vacation at the Holy Grail War? Meanwhile, Waver's got his like 1,000-yard PTSD stare, and he's like, no, it was not fun. And the answer is no, it was not fun. But yeah, so there's some interesting stuff in the setting, and also they did a really interesting thing, and they got to show off Gray being cool. And like I said,
I'm gonna say right now, Case Files has a lot of English.
Yeah, it's because they're in London or in England, so like it's
Gray's
weird that they would be speaking Japanese.
Gray's whole combat sequence was really cool, and I do like the English effect on it. But it's just like, grave me, grave for you, and it's like,
yeah,
this is good, but at the same time.
But yeah, so that was pretty neat. You got to see Ad do some stuff. They talked about some things. But yeah, okay. Well, guess we're at the turning point here. We're at 34 minutes. Lucky, do you want to do the Summer Part 2 pregame this week?
No. Let's hold off.
Okay. Alrighty. Well, in that case, so I'm going to really quickly stop the recording and basically split it so that I can actually edit the time codes together and figure out where to put the video transition in. And then when we come back, we'll do Teach Me Omega Sensei. Alright, okay, we're back. For you, there was no time, but Lucky yelled about his energy drink for a little bit.
I did. Despair, I am also surprised we haven't got a Summer Astolfo, but I also kind of imagined the servers would burn down.
Well, we'll see. There's data for a Saber Astolfo that's been there forever, that's never been used yet, so we'll see. We'll see what happens. Alright. And heck, Maeve was a writer who turned into a Saber. You never know.
Like, actually, this is something I've noticed. They have this thing about turning berserkers into lancers.
Yeah. Which is why some people are saying Summer Kentucky, but we'll see. We'll really see. Anyway, yeah. I did the whole split, and then we immediately digressed. Anyway,
yeah,
you've still seen the graphic now, because I'm too lazy to unfuck this. So, Teach Me Omega Sensei time. So, as voted on by our patrons, our neutral and unbiased patrons who pay us $5 to do this, minimum. The subject, as picked by Lucky, because it was a tie between what is the Mages Association and what is a singularity.
I deliberate really hard, yo.
And, yeah. So, we're going to talk about what the Mage Association is, because it's a big deal.
It is.
They are a major element of the Nasuverse setting. So, they are an international organization of magi aimed at protecting, preserving, and studying magecraft. They were founded sometime in the Middle Ages. The date is not given. Thanks, Nasu. When mages foresaw that magecraft would decline and mystery would need to be protected, so basically they formed a secret society so only the minimum number of people would know of and practice magic. Because they're dicks like that. So, while primarily an educational and research organization, they do have military strength, and they seek to maintain this in order to preserve the organization and defend against forces who would destroy them or magecraft. So, like, make sure the church doesn't fuck their shit up, make sure supernatural creatures don't fuck their shit up, make sure humans who hate magic for some dumb reason don't screw them up. All kinds of stuff. Which, theoretically, you think they should have been ready for that flying continent thing, but they got caught off the ball on that one.
I mean, who's ready for a flying continent? Really?
Who is ready?
A quasi-fictional...
Yeah.
Fucking flying...
Well,
it's like,
we'll
I'm
see.
sorry.
We're talking about some shit with the association. They're interesting, but I bet there was because they're British, at least the clock tower is, I bet there was a budgetary meeting. All the ministers got together and was
I'm sorry, the 3-ring binder does not cover this eventuality.
Shit. What do we do? Oh, never mind, the cause took care of it. Problem solved. Aren't they from the future? Don't care. So, the Mages Association has laws about the protection of magecraft and how it can be studied, and they will prosecute crimes against the organization, but they are mainly concerned with crimes against the association or magecraft. If you do something horrible but don't endanger the secrets of mages, they don't care. Like, if you eat babies for fun, they don't care. If you steal enough babies while trying to do magic shit that people notice, then they're like, whoa, buddy, hold on, you're breaking the masquerade. That's not allowed. Also, by the way, I'm going to use the term the masquerade, even though that's not official, because that's just what most people think of. Thanks, vampire.
Yay, White Wolf. Like, you actually kind of get this impression, like, seeing mages in, like, a lot of Fate works, is generally mages are not good people.
No, they are... We haven't really talked about... Well, I think we have talked a little about what magecraft is and what they're after. Like, mages are after the root, which is the thing outside the world, which is the origin of everything. And that pursuit...
And a lot of people are willing to take whatever means, literally whatever means, you kind of see this in case files, to get there.
Yeah. So, like... Theoretically, the Mage Association is like, no, our official procedure is that you take all your research, you pile it up, and you pass it on to your descendants. Like, you give your mission to them, which is very, oddly, very human of them, but lots of people fuck around with that, so... You know, that's why you got a lot of bullshit like the Holy Grail War and all that other stuff. So technically, here's a good point, membership is voluntary. Anybody who doesn't have a ceiling designation, we'll talk about that later, can leave, but most don't because the association has lots of resources for magical research. Like, if you're a mage in the association, you can get, like, funding and workspace, which is everybody in our real life knows is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, holy shit, if you can just join an organization and they give you a bed and money, you'd be like, why would I leave?
Actually, speaking of ceiling designations, when, like, it turns out that Emiyashiro could use a reality marker. Wasn't there, like, talk of putting a ceiling designation on him? Yeah,
we'll talk about that later when we get to that, because that's kind of another technical thing at the bottom. But we will talk about that in detail later. So, despite being framed like an academic organization, which is international and cooperative, the association is very politically complex. They include multiple factions competing for attention and budget, as we mentioned earlier. And mages rarely share their discoveries with one another, because normally that goes against the whole purpose. If more people know about your shit, it's less powerful. So, yeah. But they're called an association. Some of them are even referred to as colleges, you know, academies, whatever. But everybody's super secretive, and they're all competing for the same resources. So it's very cutthroat.
It's a very dangerous game.
The association has 3 main branches. We'll talk about them all later. They are the Clock Tower, the Atlas Temple, and the Wandering Sea. All of which are actually relevant to FGO. We've actually been to Atlas. That happened in Camelot. But technically, we mentioned this earlier, the association does not encompass all mages. Japanese and Middle Eastern mages are separate, and in some timelines, mages in America are considered separate, notably in Strange Fake. The association has an antagonistic opinion of mages gathered in the Americas. So, the association is definitely big dick swinging, but they don't have a monopoly on magecraft and traditions. Like, there are actually some groups of mages who are completely separate from them. Where was I? Oh, so here's a big deal. The association has a ranking system which measures one's capability as a magus. The highest rankings are very rare, supposedly. Like, I think there are more of them named in some of the middle rankings, but that's kind of how things goes. So from highest to lowest, the ranks are Grand, Brand, Pride, Fez, Cause, Count, and Frame. Count and Frame are the very lowest. Those are basically relegated to apprentices and children. And so for an example, in case you don't know, we, the FGO protagonist, are promoted to Cause, which is an average talent at the end of Part 1. We are the bare minimum of an actual full-blown mage in the association, which is better than some, because technically we're not counted as a child or an apprentice, but still bottom ladder. An example of a character hopefully people will be familiar with because Karno Kyokai is really cool. Awazaki Toko is ranked Grand and was ranked that at the age of 20. So, at the age of 20, she was a mage of such particular and outstanding talent that she was ranked top of the chain. The association also has a color ranking system to determine how unique your magic is, because I think Nasu has some weird thing with colors. Like, Mystic Eyes have color ranks and shit. I don't know. He likes colors, okay? The primary colors, blue, red, and yellow, are most distinct, while colors such as orange, purple, green, and black are reserved for less unique abilities. And these are not exclusive. This might also be relevant to some other stuff, because Toko is ranked red in her abilities, and she doesn't like it, because her sister is ranked blue, which is apparently more unique. So she's very upset about this, for reasons. Don't ever call her Dirty Red. You will die horribly eaten by a demon suitcase. God, Karno Kyokai is really good. Anyway. Before we talk about the branches, let's touch on the ceiling designation. So, ceiling designation is a special title placed on a mage to preserve abilities which cannot be reached via study. Its goal is to physically secure the body and blood of a designated mage and preserve them in their current state, not advancing or regressing. So the association calls this a high honor. Most mages find the ceiling designation an insult. They aren't allowed to progress their abilities any further than they have already, and their freedoms are restricted. And yes, a reality marble is a thing that would count as something you can't reach via study. So if it was known, there are concerns that Emiya would be sealed.
Yeah. Like, if I understood it correctly, it's basically being put you're like a monkey in a cage in a lab.
Yeah, basically they want to ideally sit on you and basically, hey dude, you can't go anywhere and you can't fuck up your abilities. We need your abilities to exist. So generally there are two paths for someone with a designation. By the way, I'm not sure where this is sourced, so I don't know where this was explained, so it's a little confusing to me, but I'll relay to you what I read. The path of the hermit means that the person lives in seclusion. They only pass on their knowledge to their successor. These are generally considered a low threat, because they're basically living in seclusion, so the association doesn't have to, actively sit on them. They just check in with them and monitor them and make sure they're not doing anything wrong. Basically, like you're on probation. The path of the philosopher means they strive to achieve new levels rapidly and will break all codes of the association and will possibly endanger innocence or reveal magic, and thus are way more dangerous and are actively pursued by the enforcers. Full title is the Ceiling Designation Enforcers, also a really cool craft essence. These are mages who specialize in hunting down those with the designation and either retrieving them or destroying them and recovering their magic crests and research. So basically, they'll try to take you alive, but if you won't cooperate, they will kill you and steal your research juice for later. So actual ceiling designations are really rare, so mostly enforcers work by just taking out heretical mages. They're basically mage cops who break the association's rules and otherwise protecting the masquerade. And there are also, I didn't put this in a bullet point note, but there are actual freelance mage bounty hunters. This is what Emiya Kiritsugu trained as, who basically try and steal bounties out from under the enforcers, because the Mage Association will just put a price on somebody's head if they've got a ceiling designation and they're rogue.
I can't remember his name. Wasn't the Necromancer from Apocrypha also one of these types?
Yeah, I think he got... After he split, he was basically in a bad way with the association.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there are mercs who try and get these back, and ideally they recover the magic crests and they sell them back to the association at a high price. Because mages. I will have to briefly take a personal pause. Lucky will entertain you, because I have to cross the room to get my bottle of water.
Again, like, this is all news to Lucky, but, like, if you, like, partake in basically any Fey work, you will have, learned, like, a little bit about the Mage Association.
I'm back. I got my water. I probably should have taken that moment when we split the recording to, like, take a break and stand up, but anyway.
Yeah.
I'm back. I have water.
Isn't Bazette actual...
Yes. Bazette is a ceiling designation enforcer. I think she's one of the few we actually know.
Yeah, because her actual role is in Hollow Ataraxia, but she also has the role in Prisma Ilia, both doing the same thing.
While the association doesn't think highly of enforcers, they're huge badasses. Bazette is like an unstoppable force. But anyway,
I think she's only stopped for need of food or need of a job.
Well, the job is a result of food.
Yeah.
Okay, so first off, the Clock Tower is the main branch and current HQ of the association. It has been located in London since before the AD. So technically, I think this means that they would have been in Londinium when Artoria was around. So that's super interesting. They've been hiding out down there since forever.
Oh man, that means they're probably around when Boudica came and fucking burned everything to the ground.
They were hiding underground. They're okay. At the base of the clock tower, which actually involves both a literal clock tower and a huge sprawling... Basically, their cover for mundanes is that they're a museum and college campus, which explains why they have so much space, and they've been there forever. But the base is actually based around a skeleton of a dragon which tried to reach the reverse side by digging and died. This means that the deeper you go into the labyrinth of the clock tower, the weirder shit gets. Also, I guess, theoretically, the deeper you go underground anywhere in Natsuverse, the weirder shit gets. I don't know. I guess we're going for... Maybe that's why Agartha works. I don't know.
I mean, literally in fucking Babylonia, you went down a few stories, boom, underworld.
Yep. So, the general atmosphere of the clock tower is slightly elitist. Certain branches of magecraft are discredited. The members of prestigious mage families receive preferential treatment, etc. As befitting a ancient-ass organization in London, England. So, in the clock tower, there are 3 internal factions. Hold on, I gotta read Nostru names a lot. So, El-Melloi is the aristocratic faction. They're a big deal in that, like, leading a lot of that elitism. Trembelio is the democratic faction, and Melistea is the neutral faction. So basically, one is more like democratic and proletariat, one is more elitist and aristocratic, one is like, nah, whatever, dude. I'm doing magic here! The clock tower is also divided into 12 departments, also called faculties, which are each controlled by a lord, capital L. This was mentioned a lot in the first episode of Case Files. Not the 0th episode, the first one. So these are a high-ranking magus, usually of the controlling family, who, together, the 12 lords effectively control the organization. They're a big deal. And so their internal politics are a big deal. This is why having Waver take over as Lord El-Melloi was important, because Rennes was not nearly old enough to be respected or have the knowledge needed to actually be a lord and, like, do lord stuff.
You say that, but that kid is high level to smug.
Her smug levels were okay. I don't think she could teach classes. So, the departments and their physical structure are very cliquish, and if members of another department stray into the territory of one, a fight might break out. Like, apparently the Bartholomew literally have a private police force to make sure other mage departments don't fuck with them. I will now list the 12 departments. Prepare for lots of me saying details unknown. So, Department 1, General Fundamentals. Teaches all mages the basic of their craft for about 5 years before they specialize. Department 2 is Individual Fundamentals. Details unknown. Department 3 is Spiritual Evocation, studies the craft of summoning spiritual beings or working with a spiritual medium to gain knowledge and power. This is controlled by the Sophia Ree family, who you may recognize as Canis' fiancé from Fate Zero. And I don't know if her useless brother appeared in Apocrypha. I guess he had illustrations in the light novel, but I don't remember him being a big deal in the anime, so whatever. Meh. Fourth department, Mineralogy, aka Geology, studies the mystical properties of minerals, like gems. Department 5, Zoology, details unknown, but I assume it's like Geology, but with animals. Their physical faculty, by the way, is named Chimera, interestingly enough. That's like the name of the physical location. Department 6 is Anthropology, aka Lore, details unknown. Though that big spiky-haired asshole Lost Belt guy is from this department. Department 7, Botany, details unknown. But once again, I assume it's like Zoology and Geology, but with plants. So here's an important one. Department 8, Astronomy, aka the Department of Celestial Bodies. This is controlled by the Animosphere family, as seen on TV. They study planetology, astrology, and divinity, interestingly enough. Then there is Department 9, Creation, seems focused on artistry, controlled by the Valualeta family. There's way too many vowels in that. Thanks, Nasu. Then there is Department 10, the Curse Department, details unknown. Good old Department of Curses. Then there's Department 11, Archaeology, aka the Department of Universal Research. They are a pure academic branch concerned with history, but for some reason only villains are from this department. Like former director Lev Lehner. Yes, no, literally. Despite the fact that they're a pure academic organization, the only named characters who are from the archaeology department are bad guys. It includes Lev, it includes Cornelius Alba, and Araya Soren from Kara no Kyokai. Also includes Toko, who is a villain in certain works. She's an antagonist in, like, that one thing that involves... I don't remember the name of it, but it's like witch something. Night of the Witch? I don't know. Anyway, it's funny that, like, the only pure academic department that doesn't care about politics is full of bad people. And then, everybody's favorite, Department 12, Modern Magecraft, currently run by Lord El-Melloi II. And I assume they're about studying modern Magecraft.
Surprisingly, that lord is fairly popular.
Yep. People like him. It's because he's cool and suave.
He's cool and suave.
There is also technically a 13th department. It is called Law or Policies, but because it's purely social and not mystical, it's not actually counted as one of the 12 faculties. So there is an actual 13th section, they just don't get the official title. And that's the rough outline of the clock tower. Next up, we have the Atlas Temple, located somewhere in the mountains of Egypt. They are a facility of alchemists. They are also known as the Titan's Pit, thanks Sherlock, or the Institute of Aggregation and Analysis. Their primary concern is with studying the origins of Magecraft and the underlying laws of the universe. That can't possibly go wrong. They have one rule. Nothing from Atlas can leave Atlas. It is not allowed. Other than that, its members have no taboos or restrictions on what they can create or experiment with. That also can't possibly go wrong. The only exception there are 7 contracts which compel the temple to offer aid. Fun detail that I read. Apparently, 4 contracts have been used and recovered, but 3 are still out there in the wild. So while Atlas calls themselves alchemists, they follow practices different from the modern ones and more in touch with ancient Egypt. And they generally concern themselves not with transmuting base metals, but with transmuting events, and with altering the human cognition to allow better and faster prediction. Their goal is to avert the end of the world, because their founder and first director was like, yo, I predict the world will totally end. And everybody was like, so they work constantly to stop it. Thanks, guys. You failed several times. Atlas itself is known to store a vast array of mystic codes and has 7 super weapons sealed inside it, ready to avoid disaster. So basically, don't uncap Atlas or bad shit will happen, but they do have really big tools that might save the world someday. No, that's probably a spoiler. I won't mention that. I didn't write it in my notes. I know what some of these super weapons are, but I won't talk about them because that might be important for stuff. Atlas itself also houses Hermes and Tri-Hermes, which are powerful pseudo-spiritron computers, and recorders, which are probably Philosopher's Stones. What the fuck a Philosopher's Stone means in Nasuverse, I don't know, but that's what they probably are, because people tell us they are.
Ooh, those notes.
Sorry, I had a brief spout of not being able to breathe properly. So they can perform powerful calculations, and all events ever are recorded by Tri-Hermes. You actually exploit this in Camelot. It's a thing. Chaldea's Trismegistus machine is an exact replica of Tri-Hermes. Because Marsbury didn't have any original ideas. He just took all the cool ideas that other people did and made them. Except maybe Sheba, I guess. The calculation globe thing, that's original. That was made as a cooperation between him and Lev Laner. But the Fate Spirit Summoning System is basically a crib of Fuyuki, and Trismegistus is a crib of Tri-Hermes. But basically, it's a computer that stores all information of everything that ever happens, so if you need to cross-reference something, it's there. And then, lastly, there is the Wandering Sea, also called the Moving Tomb. It is based in northern Europe, and it is literally a moving mountain range which exists mostly under the sea. It navigates the space between the texture of the world on the outside and the reverse side. Don't ask me how that works. The Wandering Sea is known to keep to themselves, and they only study magecraft preserved from the Age of Gods and look down on modern magecraft. They will be important in Part 2, where a lot of these details come from.
Oh?
We know currently about 3 elements of the Wandering Sea, which are the Prague Association, which focuses on classical alchemy, not whatever the fuck Atlas is doing, but the normal stuff. The Sponheim Abbey, which works closely with the Clock Tower, and the Thule Society, which works to study rune magecraft and protects original runes. And nobody tell anybody that in the West that might have unfortunate implications due to Nazis. Nazis. Anyway, that's basically it. Those are the 3 branches. Those are their 3 sections. There's a lot of...
I'm just thinking about the Thule Society, and it's all like, yeah, you do that. I'm just going to call over Shisho, and we're going to make a boat using runes. That's how we do.
They'd probably be okay with that, because that's Age of Gods runes. They're like, ooh, sweet rune, bro. Sick runes, dude. Anyway, yeah, so that's basically the Mages Association. Their general politics, their ranks, their purpose, their stuff, their 3 sections. That's what we know.
That's a lot of information.
Yeah, it was 3 pages. How long did that take? That took 30 minutes on its own.
30 minutes of mages. Woo!
I'm a little short of breath. But yes. So, that's that. Lucky, do you have any comments or questions?
Oh no, I'm just reviewing all this information. I'm just going... Like, I'm just like wondering about, like, what got them, like, so obsessed on their, like, finding the root. Is it, like, some sort of earth? Because, like, this is something, like, I've definitely noticed. Like, you see this in a lot of Natsu-verts, is mages are very single-mindedly, like, pursuing the root. And, honestly, just their way of getting there is just what basically differentiates them. So I'm just like, why? Because, like, this is one of those things that I think is, I think that speaks really well of Shiro Emiya. Shima is a horrible mage and master, but that's what makes him, like, so goddamn great at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Because
also, I mean, we say he's a horrible... He is a horrible mage, but he has a very unique talent which cannot be replicated.
Yeah.
Like,
but you can also say that, like, that talent is because of his origin and the fact that he literally came in contact with his future self.
Yeah,
it's like
he attained information from his future self, and also he had a piece of unbroken mystery embedded in his body.
Yeah,
he had a noble phantasm.
So he basically he had a bunch of coincidences literally come together at once to basically make an astronomical incident happen.
But that guy is able to beat up Gilgamesh, which I'm pretty sure none of the mages in the association could do.
Yeah.
In fact, I know they couldn't because all of them completely fucking failed to take out Tosaka in Grail War 4.
Mm-hmm. And so, like, you look at Shiro, like, because I think this is actually, like, a great, like, foil to his character. Like, as bad of a mage and quote-unquote master he is, he's a great human, you know? Like, you can say about, like, what you want about his values and morals, but, you know, it's very few people who can actually stand up and, you know, say their values without, you know, succumbing to, like, whatever outside pressure. Even if it might be a little, depending on what route you're playing, you're gonna be like, oh god, someone slapped a kid.
Yep. Also, honestly, thinking about it, this is actually remarked. Rin's actually kind of a shitty mage. She is not good at, in the terms of mindset, she's not good at the whole separating yourself and doing the whole go to the root thing.
Well, to be honest, you can also blame this on she didn't have actually she started her mage training, but when what was it, the Fourth Holy War happened?
Yeah,
her dad was killed. The crest, all the crest stuff,
yeah,
got messed up.
Became the inheritor immediately.
Mm-hmm.
I had to train under Kiriko Tomide, who doesn't care about that.
Yeah, so she obviously wasn't raised to be the best mage she can be. And then you look at people like Sakura, who does have all the training and all the power. And me personally, I love Sakura. I will protect, but she's not a good person.
No, and a lot of that is related to the trauma of her conditioning as a mage. But still, it's the Mato family is still really obsessed with obtaining their past glories and magical power. That makes them really shitty people.
Yeah.
Arguably, Tosaka Tokiomi was kind of a shitty person.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, I don't think he understood a lot of what he was doing, but he was kind of a dumbass.
The mage, I can't remember his fucking name, but the guy who summoned Medea, who was all yeah, we're gonna use these human fucking bodies, and we're gonna make fucking magic crystals, and Medea's all you suck at this, and he was all what, bitch?
Hey, BJ Dubs, my magic dagger breaks rules. Wait, what? No, I'm on fire. That was a great addition, by the way, to Unlimited Blade Works. That was detail. That was vaguely alluded to in the visual novel, but they actually gave him a character design and actually explained why the fuck Medea would get rid of that guy, because he approached it like a mage would.
Mm-hmm.
Kenneth El-Melloi is another great example of mages are shitty persons. He was a pompous douchebag who thought he could just do whatever, and he got consistently owned by Kiritsugu, who was raised as a mercenary outside of the association. Kiritsugu's dad actually had a sealing designation.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's because his plan was to actually perfect time altering to basically... basically, that's why he was involved with vampirism. He was gonna turn himself immortal so he could accelerate time and basically reach the root that way.
Mm-hmm.
And the association was whoa, dude, you have crazy time acceleration powers? Yeah, put a hold on that. Put a hold on that, please.
That's actually the opposite of what I want.
He's like, no. Okay, well, you're gonna have to hide on a small island, and we're gonna send people to shoot you. Rip.
Yep. But in that same arc, look at Waver. Really bad mage, but a better person than most.
Heck, actually, let me look this up. Do I have that image handy? I mean, I need to find it later anyway, so I might as well look it up now. But let's see, where is it? What is Waver's actual? Yeah. Even as Lord El-Melloi II, Waver's rank is still only Fez. He's still only one bar up from us. He's not even in the top half.
Yeah.
But he is a lord, and he is a well-known and well-respected professor who gets a lot of shit done because he doesn't think like normal mages. Also, by the way, Lucky, I did a little bit of reading while you were talking. I think the reason why mages want to reach the root is because in the Age of Gods, that's how mages did magic. They directly called upon magical energy from the center of the universe, basically. And since then, Magecraft is basically trying to recreate that miracle through, certain artificial means.
If I remember correctly, if I remember that, Magecraft, nowadays is, using power within you, not...
Yeah, that's what the magic circuits are, is basically you align to power in the earth, which is ley lines, and you align them to the power in yourself, and you have to follow certain rules, like equivalent exchange and stuff.
Yeah.
As opposed to having unlimited cosmic energy to just do whatever the fuck you want with. So that's why mages are trying to reach the root, is they're trying to recover true magic and, true miracle working and plug back in.
Well, that was one of the big thing in Babylonia, is where magic was literally just in the air, and modern humans could not deal with it. It's why you have Da Vinci's all right, you're gonna need this fucking scarf thing so you can fucking actually breathe here. Otherwise,
right, because you, as noted, are also a really shitty mage in more ways than one. But you saved the universe at least once.
I'm just finding this really interesting parallel between like how good you are at actually being a mage and like your character. On top
I'm pretty
of
sure
that.
that's deliberate. Nasu has always written the mages as kind of shitty people.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's something I've just been thinking about, like reading about this. Because you look at the Mage Association, it is just a like. This is just the thing. When you get any organization big enough, it always splinters off into ideologies and politics. And the crazy thing is that's scary enough as it is. But then you add magic and mystery into that, you're just like, oh, that's scary. It's like you saw this in the episode 0 of Case Files, where Waver just literally says like, you know, fuck those old dudes, and just him doing that caused like the effect to rebound and have him trip on like and stab himself with a bunch of quartz fragments. I'm still gonna call them that.
That's what they were, but I don't know.
Yeah, so it's just like, man, like these are organizations that have like barriers and wars against people just, you know, basically insulting them and able to get revenge through that. It's just like, whew.
And also lots of really kind of fucked up shit. Like, we'll spoil the second episode of Case Files a little bit because it's been out for like a week. But like, that guy was like, my limited mortal coil is not enough time. Fuck my kids. Those people are useless. I'm gonna turn myself into a ghost and achieve immortality.
Here comes Spookums.
I'm a spooky guy because it was a flawed theory. And his daughter's just like, yeah, it was. Which is...
It's like, I knew it was gonna happen.
So that's another example of mages being quote-unquote bad people. Like, she didn't stop him. She didn't report him to the mage cops or anything. She totally let him backfire himself. But also, she wasn't necessarily wrong in that because her dad was apparently kind of an asshole.
Yeah.
And the butler did not do it. Nor did the maid. But that was honestly the classic. Well, the victim did it. That's a great turnaround on a literal closed room mystery, a closed circle.
And like,
perfect.
honestly, like I would say like the deductions. And see, here's the thing. Like, this is the problem I'm gonna have with the Case Files anime. I know this already. They're gonna be great mysteries, but I'm not gonna be able to solve it like in the moment.
Probably not, because because I don't think it. First of all, it's 100% not a fair cop mystery, which was a set of rules for mysteries laid out in, I think, the 20s or 30s. It was mostly about pulp cereals. One of those rules is absolutely no magic.
Yeah.
Which means intrinsically, this is not a fair cop mystery. This is not necessarily something the audience can be expected to solve, because it's entirely possible that Waver is going to exposit about some obscure magical theory which hasn't been covered yet.
I mean, he did. Like, in the second episode, like, about astronomy and, like, the placing of the body at certain parts. I was like, okay, this is interesting, and, you know, but I don't get it. And then he was all like, here's a secret here! And I'm like, how? It's like, Waver, you're a smart man, but, like, please, like, dumb this down a little bit.
Well, yeah, and after he pops it out and everybody's like, what the fuck is that? He's like, let me explain. So, Earth is tied to Soul, and since we're performing a heliocentric cosmology, you need a representation. So, Spooky Soul Gem for your new Lich Dad, and hey, Gray, punch a ghost. And then Gray punches a ghost. Technically, she scythes a ghost, but anyway.
Yeah, the setup onto that, you know, had me asking questions. But at the same time, like, I do hope that Case Files will give us more to work with the Mage Associations and Clockwork, you know, with the departments, how they work, and whatnot.
I feel like it will. And honestly, I think that's part of why they're doing these original content episodes first, is to, like, start establishing some rules and concepts of the playing field before we get into the real shit.
Yeah, like, episode 0 is like, alright, this is what the series is going to be about. You're going to have magic, and you're going to figure shit out, okay?
It's going to be a bit of action. Uncle Waver, Old Man Waver, smoking his cigars with his meddling kids, and they're going to fucking solve crimes.
Episode 1, it's all like, alright, so you want to know what happens between 0 and now? Check out, like, this, like...
Right, it's exposition. Hey, here's who Waver is, and why he's in this position he's in this story.
Mm-hmm. And then episode 2, it's like, alright, now you're gonna see how Waver operates. Like, how does he do things?
And because Gray's really important, we're gonna show her off more.
Yeah. So, I said, like, honestly, this is like, counting episode 0, that's, you know, the 3 episode mark. And I think it's like pretty much fleshed out like what the series is gonna be and what it's gonna be about. So like I'm excited. Like I want to see more. I am ready.
Yeah, I love it a lot. All right, well, we're at about an hour 15, so
nice.
Obviously there'll be some editing down because I gotta like fix everything and I gotta find the codes and stuff. But we've hit our normal episode length mark.
Yay.
I don't know what I'm going to title it yet, but it'll involve the words magic and possibly summer in there. And so I guess if we don't have any final thoughts, we'll go ahead and wrap up. So next week, we are definitely 100% doing the Summer 2 pregame. It's already written. It's in there.
Who?
Other than that, I don't know. We'll probably talk about the next case files because it'll have happened. And I don't think JP will have any news by next week, so that'll probably be most of the meat of the show. Hopefully part 2 will have started and we can complain about how we don't care about it, and I don't know if there's anything good in the shop.
Yeah, let's see here. Yeah, until we hit JP anniversary, we're probably not gonna get anything special.
No, because I don't think the rerun ends until there. Alright, well. Shall we wrap up the show?
Do it.
Okay. Well, hey, if you like this episode, give it a like. If you have any comments, leave them in the comment section down below. We are down to 2 topics only for Teach Me Omega Sensei. That is, what do we know about Grand Servants and what is a singularity? So if you have any suggestions for stuff we should talk about, or possibly review, I don't know. There may be stuff that we covered like in the way back and we didn't do the same format on, so, fire this off in the comment section. Any other comments you have, any other suggestions, pro tips, whatever. We're open to your feedback. Also consider joining our Discord. That link is in the description. Got a lot of people filtering into the Discord lately.
Mm-hmm. It's a pop in place.
Yeah, it's always happening with the memes. And of course, if you are new here and haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. We are planning on doing live episodes when we hit 2,000 subs, and we might do some other fun stuff. And it's really important. It keeps us going, and lets you know when we post episodes. Speaking of posting episodes, even if you're already subscribed, considering that bell for notifications, so you always know when we post a new video. Right away, instantly. And because sometimes that can be a little weird for us, so tune in. And of course, like it says at the front of the show, consider supporting us on Patreon. You can get access to episodes early. You can get access to episodes in audio format for as little as $1 a month. That's our entire audio back catalog. Downloadable wherever you need them. Don't have to worry about your YouTube connection or whatever. And also, if you back at certain levels, you can get other goodies. Like at the 5 and up level, you can actually vote in our topic polls for stuff like Teach Me Omega Sensei and whatnot. And yeah, that's about it. So we'll see you guys next week for more Let's Talk FGO. At some point, I have to write some Wanted on Caster Nero. That'll probably be ready sometime next week. But obviously, I won't fire it off until the appropriate time. And, tune in later, sometime this weekend, hopefully, for more What's Up.
Everyone, prepare for Summer Waiver.
I'm just imagining angry Swim Trunks Waver with tiny sunglasses just smoking. He's not happy to be here. All right, we out.